So the question now is how a person knows that is connected to his spiritual being. Yeah? Okay. So that's an interesting question. Let's put it this way. The best parable that I'm using many times to describe the connection to our spiritual being is להבדיל בין קודש לחול, בין טמא לטהור, is the internet. Okay, so people today, they have like cell phones, computers, and so on, and they want to make sure that they are connected all the time. They have to make sure that they have like a good connection, fast connection, strong connection, that everything will work very, very good. Okay, so obviously in all of those devices, you always have like some kind of a light, some kind of a button, some kind of a signal that you are connected or you are not connected. But let's say that you don't have that. You don't have that signal. So how do you know that you're not connected? If you're trying to search something and you don't find it, right? If you're trying to do something, you're trying to send a message and it doesn't go through, so you know that you're not connected, right? So now let's go back to the spirituality. It was supposed to be that we will be really strongly connected with Hashem. For example, by Moshe Rabbeinu, that's extreme example, obviously, but we take that as an example, like what the human being should be when he's getting to his tikkun, yeah? So Moshe Rabbeinu, he had a question. He asked him a question, what we should do in this case. So he told him, wait a minute, let me ask Hashem, right? So the sages in the Gemara, they're saying that like happy should be a man that he have such a connection with Hashem, that he's so sure, like there was no doubt by him that Hashem will answer him. He knew that he's asking a question and Hashem will give him the answer right away. Okay? So that's a good connection. Right? When a person he knows that Hashem listens to him, Hashem is sensitive to him, and he's sensitive to Hashem's answer. Whatever is the way that Hashem is answering him, he's sensitive to that. He understands that, like the messages, the hints of Hashem. That's a good connection. Yeah. So we should aim to that level. Okay, even though we feel that, what do you mean, me, Moshe Rabbeinu? Like how can I compare myself to Moshe Rabbeinu? Okay, fine, you're right, but that should be our goal. That should be like we should try to get to that level of like not only prophecy, the highest level of prophecy. Okay. Obviously, what Hashem will give us, that's what we'll have, but that should be what's what we're looking for. So, for me, the way to develop, to work on that part of us is basically what I'm teaching, the Kabbalistic meditations. Meaning, when you are practicing the Kabbalistic meditations, basically the idea is to, first of all, learn how to connect yourself to those spiritual worlds and to start to explore them. Yeah. So in the old times, before they had like Google Maps and Earth and all kinds of things like that, satellites and so on. So there was a certain amount of the land that they knew, and there was like lands that they didn't explore. So they were sending like people to explore here, to explore there. All kinds of kings. They send all kinds of messengers to like distant places to draw maps of those different lands and so on, right? Not so long ago, just 1,000 years ago. Seems like yesterday. So, in a certain way, in the spiritual realms, we should do basically the same. Okay, we should like go out there, explore, get the how do you say Shamim? Get the feeling. Not the feeling is not the right word. get the impression of the spiritual experience of those realms. And when we're coming back from the journey of the meditation, so we have better understanding of those levels. Okay, so and slowly we know more and more about like our being, our connection to the spiritual realms, how to move from one world to another, and so on. And we're building this part of ourselves, of the ability to go deeper and deeper and higher, and to obviously within each one of those worlds there is another level of connection to Hashem. So to get to the highest level of our being, it means to get to the best connection possible to Hashem. Yeah? So let's go back to Moshe Rabbeinu. What I understand, and I don't understand much, but what I understand, that Moshe Rabbeinu was there all the time. Yeah, he was there in that like highest level of his connection with Hashem. He was there all the time. He didn't need to like stop everything. Just a moment, let me do my meditation now. No, he was like all the time. He had this continuously flow of connection to Hashem. So let's say, for example, if we compare that between like connection to Hashem, between connection to husband and wife. So ideally, a couple that are married, they don't forget that they are married. They are all the time, they are within their conscious, they know like I'm married, I have like, I have my wife that I need to make sure that she's okay, whatever it is, and like whatever, she needs that, she thinks that, whatever, and so on. And, yeah. Unfortunately, some people they want to forget, and they're doing all kinds of problems with that. But that will leave for another time to discuss. Probably in marriages, yeah, that needs to be discussed, but not now. So like within the same way, many people, they want to forget that they have relationship with Hashem. Okay? When someone he have like this consciousness that is within relationship with Hashem, so he cannot do like things that are not proper because he's within a relationship with Hashem. So like it's not possible. So you have all kinds of lust and desires. So sometimes he wants to forget that he's really like within that relationship with Hashem. So then obviously he cannot hold that level of connection because he doesn't want that. Or maybe he wants that, but he thinks that he doesn't want that. All kinds of possibilities within that. Anyhow, that's a very, very important point of clarity that we need to get to. Of like, what do you want? You want to go after the lust and desires of this world, or you want to connect to the spiritual realms and to come closer to Hashem? Excuse me. So I think that's a big challenge for anyone that is living in this physical world, because this is the way that Hashem created this world, that it will be like a challenge for us. So all the time we have like the pull of the physical, but wait a minute, that's not really what I want. What I want is like the spiritual. So I have to like forget about that physical desire and go back to my starting point, to my original being. All what I want is just to connect to Hashem. And as much as we get into this clarity, so within that clarity we are making ourselves available to this relationship with Hashem, to this connection with Hashem. And that's for me, that's what I define as spiritual life. When someone is like he doesn't have relationship with Hashem, he doesn't know anything about his relationship with Hashem. So for me, it means that he doesn't really have a spiritual life, So there is all kinds of people that they will call themselves spiritual, or other people will call themselves spiritual, Why? Because he's playing with crystals, and you have all kinds of cars that he can fortune tells and whatever it is, all kinds of different things like that. That in the world it's called like spirituality, but for me it's not spirituality. You know, they playing with all kinds of powers, but they don't really have spiritual life. They don't know that if they don't recognize Hashem, and they don't realize that all of that is coming from Hashem, and there is a certain responsibility within this relationship, so it's useless. It's like children that are playing with the cars and whatever. So they play with all kinds of spiritual powers, but that's not spirituality. That's not like spiritual life. So those definitions are very important to the world, I believe, and that's one of the reasons that I'm trying to do all of these classes, is for that clarity. B'ezrat Hashem.